Authorities warning of severe storms, what could be a dangerous night ahead, and let's get right to it. From the Midwest, Indianapolis, Chicago, Pittsburgh, all the way to the east, they are warning of high winds and possible tornadoes after a dramatic 24 hours already. A tornado in Maryland, powerful winds and rain there. And of course, the wildfires in California, and this image from Colorado tonight, engulfing and destroying this bridge. ABC's Alex Perez leading us off.
Tonight, tens of millions in the Midwest bracing for a long night of severe storms. This after a scary 24 hours in the east. Winds gusting above 80 miles an hour in South Jersey, ripping off roofs and flipping over planes.
I've been here through hurricanes and nor'easters. Never seen anything like this before.
In Washington, D.C., flash flooding in this metro station making for a soggy commute. In Maryland, a tornado tearing an almost 13-mile path across Howard County.
You're going to see a very clear line of destruction through these yards.
Trees crashing through homes and crushing cars. James Franco McCarroll's wife, lucky to be alive.
My wife was in the kitchen. If that tree was cutting, had hit the kitchen, would have killed her.
In the west, those twin fires blazing near Los Angeles. Arcana Whitworth, right there.
Right now, you can see firefighters getting ready to lay retardant all along that ridge right there. Now, with scenes like that and winds expected to pick up tonight, nobody is out of the woods just yet.
In all, at least 23 fires now scorching 9 states.
But back to Alex live now in Chicago tonight. And what's the biggest concern there going into this evening, Alex?
Well, David, one of the biggest concerns here is that a huge portion of this severe weather will happen after dark. Officials are watching this one closely.
A tornado accompanied by heavy rain and hail has hit the city of Yancheng in East China's Jiangsu province. 51 people are reportedly dead and many others injured. Rescue operations are underway. A factory where dangerous chemical products were stored has been destroyed. For more on that, let's talk to our reporter Xing Zheming, who's on his way to Yancheng City. Hello, Zheming. Tell us the latest you've got from the aftermath of this tornado, especially the situation of this chemical factory.
Good evening, Pendon. The severe weather condition took place around 2:30 in early afternoon. That includes tornadoes, strong winds, and hailstones. Some were as big as the eggs. Tornadoes were spotted in Funing and the Shenyang counties. Tornadoes are rare natural disasters in China, but Jiangsu province is the most vulnerable region to suffer such severe weather in the country, especially from March to September. It is reported that gusts at the time were blowing at a speed of 35 meters per second. Some power grid towers with steel structure were twisted by the tornado, and many have been blown down. You can just imagine how strong the winds were. Photos and videos shared on the internet show many houses were severely damaged by the strong winds, and roofs of many factories have been blown away, and some cars, even trucks, were turned sideways.
Pink snow has been found in the Arctic. It's called watermelon snow. It has an attractive name. It looks pretty, but it spells bad news for the environmentally fragile region. Scientists say snow and ice are being shaded by a pink algae. The algae is accelerating the melting of the Arctic ice. The findings have just been published in a scientific journal.
Nearly 200 people died last month at a camp in northeast Nigeria for people displaced by Boko Haram. A Doctors Without Borders team visited the camp, which is home to around 24,000 people. They found that 1 in 5 children there was suffering from acute malnutrition. 16 severely malnourished children at immediate risk of death were referred to a treatment center.
A rare brain-eating amoeba taking the life of an 18-year-old girl. Doctors say Lauren Seitz likely got the infection while rafting at the U.S. National Whitewater Center in Charlotte, North Carolina. Only about 3 dozen cases of the amoeba are reported every decade, but it can be found in warm, fresh water and soil. Testing is now underway at the park, but it does remain open.
You see that? It's a mysterious dark ring that appeared in the sky over Disneyland. Park visitors were baffled by the sight. Some wild guesses about the ring. Could it have been a UFO or a portal into another dimension? Well, the ring lingered for several minutes over the theme park in California. Engineers say smoke rings usually require a blast through a circular structure that could be a smokestack or even a homemade trash can smoke ring launcher. Whatever it was, the ring over Disneyland finally drifted away. Similar rings have been reported over Argentina, the UK, Kazakhstan, and the Burning Man Festival in Nevada.
Thousands of people in SoCal could face power outages this summer, and that's because of two different big problems. First off, you've got the heat wave that's putting huge demands on the power supply as people are trying to keep cool. And then on top of that, the region has to do without a massive natural gas storage facility. You remember that facility in Aliso Canyon? It's the chief backup supplier for electric utilities in the area. But it was shut down back in October when a leak was discovered. During times of really heavy demand for power, like heat waves, for instance, Southern California has to meet the demand by relying on extra power stations. Now, some of these power stations have gas-fired plants, but with the gas storage facility out of the picture, it's going to be a whole lot more difficult.
German state TV, German media, is reporting a gunman has wounded at least 25 people at a cinema complex in western Germany. It appears to be an ongoing situation right now in Vienheim in Germany. We know from Reuters is reporting a masked man with a gun and ammunition belt opened fire in a cinema complex in a small western town of Vienheim near Frankfurt. This is near Frankfurt. Again, Reuters reporting and German media reporting that between 20 and 50 people have been injured. This is an ongoing situation. Also, Reuters reporting, and they're quoting German media, that the man has barricaded himself inside this cinema complex. Okay, to just reiterate, at least 25 people wounded at a cinema complex in western Germany, according to German media, and it is an ongoing situation according to local reports. Now, we know that there has been an extremely high level of concerns about terrorism in Germany.
We're going to turn to that flight forced to make an emergency landing because of a man allegedly making threats on board. In fact, F-16s were scrambled to escort the flight to safety. ABC's David Curley is live at Reagan National Airport with the latest for us this morning. David?
Morning, David. Passengers say this man was acting very strangely. F-16s were scrambled, and then pilots in the area are wondering what was going on. Pilots flying in and out of Tucson confused, receiving cryptic messages.
What's the issue with 295? Is there a reason we can't take that? It's a security issue, sir. I cannot tell you over the frequency.
The security issue? 2 fighter jets escorting a Delta jetliner in for an emergency landing.
I wish I could do better for you, but I'd be launching in the face of fighter planes.
Do it now! Once the Delta jet with 80 on board was on the ground, police boarded, arresting a man who about an hour into the flight from San Antonio to Los Angeles became uncooperative, and a passenger was told he made a threat against the aircraft.
He was walking up and down the aisle, staring at people, acting very unusual, anxious, rubbing his chest, and wouldn't sit down.
The suspect caused some sort of verbal disturbance on board the aircraft. This alerted the flight crew.
That's when those 2 F-16s were scrambled as the Delta jet made a quick descent into Tucson.
You, come to me.
Passenger Ryan Healy took this video of the passenger being escorted off the plane in Tucson. Once he was off, the other passengers were taken off as well, rescreened before they were able to head on to Los Angeles. Now, it's unclear whether this man was taken to a hospital for a medical evaluation or to jail, and we still don't know this morning, Robin, whether or not he'll be charged with the crime.
Turning to the UK now, polling is underway to decide whether Britain stays in or leaves the European Union. Over 46 million registered voters are expected to cast their ballots. The latest polls show that the UK is in favour of remaining a member nation of the EU. According to an online populist poll published on Twitter, 55% of voters supported staying in the EU, with 45% opting for Brexit. Voting ends at 9 p.m. GMT later Thursday. The count will begin as soon as the polls close. The result is expected to be announced on Friday morning local time, about 6 a.m. Prime Minister David Cameron says he will notify the European Union immediately if Britain votes to leave.
Leader of the DPRK Kim Jong-un has said the country now has the capability to attack U.S. interests in the Pacific. He made the comment after supervising the test launch of a medium long-range strategic ballistic missile. The DPRK state news agency said the test launch was successful and didn't put the security of neighboring countries at risk. Well, in a closed-door Northeast Asia cooperation dialogue in Beijing, a DPRK official explained why the country launched the missile test.
We are not expecting anything from our side. We just do whatever we should do. And what we are doing is to try to cope with the current situation where the United States is trying to threaten DPRK with nuclear weapons. So we are trying to strengthen our nuclear capabilities in order to cope with the threats that are imposed on DPRK.
Sehr geehrter Herr Präsident, meine Damen und Herren, sehr geehrte Schwule, sehr geehrte Lesben, sehr geehrte Androgyne, sehr geehrte Bigender, sehr geehrte Frau zu Mann und sehr geehrte Mann zu Frau, sehr geehrte Gendervariable, sehr geehrte Genderqueer, sehr geehrte Intersexuelle, sehr geehrte weder noch Geschlechter, sehr geehrte Geschlechtslose, sehr geehrte Nicht-Binäre, sehr geehrte Pangender und Pangeschlechtliche, sehr geehrte Transmännliche und Transmänner, sehr geehrte Transweibliche und Transfrauen, sehr geehrte Transmenschen, sehr geehrte Trans mit Stern, sehr geehrte Transstern weiblich und Transstern Frauen, sehr geehrte Transstern männlich und Transstern Männer, sehr geehrte Transmenschen, sehr geehrte Transfeminine, sehr geehrte transsexuelle Personen, sehr geehrter Interstern weiblich und sehr geehrter Interstern männlich.
Ach warte, ich hatte ja eine Zwischenfrage.
Ich bin ja noch nicht mit der Begrüßung fertig, Herr Präsident. Entschuldigung. Sehr geehrte Interstern Männer, sehr geehrte Interstern Frauen, sehr geehrte Interstern Menschen, sehr geehrte Intergender, sehr geehrte Intergeschlechtlich, sehr geehrte Zweigeschlechtlichen und sehr geehrte Zwitter, sehr geehrte Hermaphroditen, sehr geehrte Two-Spirit drittes Geschlecht und sehr geehrtes viertes Geschlecht, sehr geehrte XY-Frauen, sehr geehrte Transvestiten, sehr geehrter Crossgender, sehr geehrtes Nullgeschlecht und natürlich auch ganz herzlich die sehr geehrten sonstigen Geschlechter. Sehr geehrter Nonnemacher, sehr geehrter Bader und sehr geehrter Mus. Die AfD-Fraktion lehnt ihren Antrag ab. Danke.